Well, good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, the 15th of November, and I hope you're having a fabulous Saturday or weekend. And for those of you who are working today, well done, amazing. Keep the country running, so thank you. So, my day today was slightly different. Saturday, I meet up with some people to do a 10k. We normally meet up around about 7, half 7, so we met up at half 7 today. Very cold, very wet, very windy, but we had an amazing run. And the incredible thing was on the run is some of them weren't runners 6 months ago, and they were all saying today, here we are, we're running as a group, doing a 10k, doing it easily under 1 hour, and we're chatting. And the thought of them being able to do that 6 months ago was just unfathomable. And I think that's what is amazing about the human mind, the human body, how adaptable and malleable it is. A lot of them said that they love the running club because, like we talked about yesterday, or I talked about yesterday, there's that personal contract where we committed to meeting up in the morning. Now, even if we hadn't have had that, I'm in a place now where I'd have done that anyway. But for them, it was just that nudge on a cold, wet, windy day to get out of bed, meet up with people, and at the end of the hour, everyone's euphoric. They feel so much better, and they've set up their day now for a win. That's the great thing about exercising in the morning. And I talk a lot about running, and the thing I love about running is you don't need any equipment. You just need your feet and a pair of trainers, and you can go anywhere. Whereas if you're focused on cycling, rowing machine, swimming, which are all fabulous things to do for your fitness, you have to rely on a swimming pool, an exercise bike, or take your bike, or have they got a row machine? Does the row machine work properly? You know what it's like. You get on some of these row machines, and they're so old or knackered, they're next to useless. So that's the great advantage I see of running. I also feel running gives you the outdoors, the fresh air. You can't coast with running. So if you stop running, you stop. Whereas with a row machine, you can draw it out. With a bike, unless you're doing like a Peloton or something, you can stop and you can coast along. Whereas when you do 45 minutes of running, you're running for 45 minutes. That's what I love about it. I was having to think today about standards and personal standards, and I hold myself to quite high personal standards. So I always want to make sure that whenever I meet anybody, I'm well groomed, so I'm showered, I've had a shave, I look presentable. I then interact with people on a friendly but professional basis. I think that's very important. And when I went on holiday recently to Crete, which was lovely, and I know it's a holiday, but I went down to breakfast every morning, and it must have been around 8:30. Now, by that time, I'd already been to the gym. I'd done 45 minutes, and I went back to my room, met up with my wife and my son. We're all showered. I was shaved. Went down to breakfast. Always looking smart, presentable. I was actually shocked at the number of people who looked like they'd literally rolled out of bed. Now, I know they're on holiday, and you could argue that they are relaxing, but some of them look really shocking. Clearly not had a shower, not even put a comb through their hair. Physically, men in their 30s and early 40s, they look wrecked. And there's absolutely no need to be like that. Now, I know there's some people with some physical disabilities that don't allow them to exercise, but even saying that, when I was growing up, some of the people that I admired, like Tanya Gray Thompson, or there was a fabulous swimmer called Ellie, who was so inspiring in the Olympics. I always remember looking at Ellie, and I believe she was classified with dwarfism, And I remember seeing this swim, and it was breathtaking. I think she actually ran out of energy 50% of the way through, and her heart took over for 50% of the rest, and she ended up winning the gold in the Olympics, and that truly inspired me. So I think there's very few excuses to not be up, out, exercise and look presentable. So I think my message today is about what personal standards do you hold yourself to? Do you always make sure that you're doing self-improvement? You're trying to be a little bit better tomorrow than you were, or today than you were yesterday. And I think that's why exercise is such a good measure of that, because you can measure it, be it with how much you lift or what time you get. Whereas the journey of personal improvement, sometimes it's a slower process. How do you measure it? Well, you can't always measure it with promotion, because factors can happen outside of your control with work. But it's just about that constant, continuous improvement. So my message today is, please hold yourself to a high standard. Even if you don't think you're worth it, you are. We're here for fleeting moments in terms of the scale of the amount of time that we spend on the earth. So just hold yourself to higher standards, and I hope you have a great Saturday. And I'm doing my long run tomorrow, 25-30 kilometres, so I'll give you all an update tomorrow.